Most people think fat loss begins in the gym, but real fat burning actually starts much deeper, inside your cells. Your body already has built-in systems designed to burn excess fat for energy, regulate hunger, balance hormones, and maintain a healthy metabolism. The problem is that modern eating habits often switch those systems off. Highly processed foods overloaded with refined sugars, artificial ingredients, and unhealthy fats confuse the body's natural signals. Instead of efficiently using energy, the body begins storing more fat, increasing inflammation and triggering stronger cravings. But certain foods can do the exact opposite. They activate pathways that encourage the body to burn stored fat naturally while also improving overall health. Foods rich in fiber, healthy fats, antioxidants, and plant nutrients help stabilize blood sugar levels, which prevents insulin spikes that lead to fat storage. Protein-rich foods can increase thermogenesis, meaning your body burns more calories simply digesting them. Green tea, chili peppers, berries, leafy greens, avocados, nuts, and fatty fish contain compounds that support metabolism and improve how the body uses energy. Even the bacteria living in your gut respond to healthy foods by producing substances that influence fat burning and appetite control. This means your meals are constantly sending instructions to your body. Every bite is either telling your metabolism to store fat or release it. When you consistently choose foods that nourish your biology instead of stressing it, the body becomes more efficient, energetic, and balanced. Fat loss then stops feeling like punishment and starts becoming a natural response to proper nourishment and metabolic healing. Food can act like a biological signal that tells your body whether to store fat or release it. And one of the most powerful mechanisms behind this is how certain foods influence fat cells and inflammation at the same time. Harmful fat tissue, especially visceral fat around your organs, is not just passive storage. It behaves like an active organ that releases inflammatory chemicals into your bloodstream. These chemicals disrupt hormones, slow metabolism, and increase the risk of disease. But certain foods can reduce this activity and essentially calm down fat cells so they stop behaving aggressively. Nutrient-dense foods rich in antioxidants, polyphenols, and anti-inflammatory compounds help interrupt these damaging signals. When you eat vegetables like broccoli, spinach, and kale, or fruits like berries and pomegranates, you supply the body with molecules that reduce oxidative stress, which is one of the main triggers of chronic inflammation. Healthy fats from olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish also help stabilize cell membranes, making fat cells less likely to release inflammatory chemicals. Over time, this shift changes how your metabolism behaves. Instead of constantly being in a stressed, inflamed state that promotes fat storage, your body begins to move toward balance and repair. Even more interesting is that some foods can influence gene expression related to inflammation and fat metabolism, meaning they don't just affect your energy levels today, they shape how your body functions long term. When inflammation drops, insulin sensitivity improves, energy becomes more stable, and the body becomes more efficient at using stored fat as fuel instead of holding on to it unnecessarily. Your gut is not just a digestion system. It is a powerful control center that directly influences how your body stores fat, regulates hunger, and defends against disease. Inside your intestines live trillions of bacteria, collectively known as the gut microbiome. And these microbes act almost like a second brain for your metabolism. When the gut is balanced with beneficial bacteria, your body becomes more efficient at breaking down food, absorbing nutrients, and regulating energy use. But when harmful bacteria dominate, often due to processed foods, excess sugar, and low fiber intake, the system becomes disrupted. This imbalance can increase cravings, slow metabolism, and encourage fat storage, especially around the abdomen. One of the key roles of gut bacteria is producing short-chain fatty acids when they digest fiber from plant foods. These compounds help reduce inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and signal the body to burn fat more effectively. A healthy gut also communicates with hormones that control appetite, such as ghrelin and leptin, helping you feel satisfied with less food instead of constantly hungry. On the other hand, an unhealthy gut can send mixed signals, making it harder to recognize fullness and easier to overeat. The gut also interacts with the immune system, meaning poor gut health can increase inflammation throughout the entire body, which is closely linked to weight gain and disease risk. When you consistently eat fiber-rich foods like vegetables, legumes, fruits, and whole grains, you feed the good bacteria and gradually restore balance. Over time, this creates a metabolic environment where fat loss becomes easier, energy improves, and overall health strengthens naturally and consistently. Your blood vessels are not just pipes that carry blood. They are dynamic, living organs that control how efficiently your entire body functions, especially your metabolism and energy production. Every cell in your body depends on a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered through the vascular system. And when these vessels are healthy and flexible, your metabolism operates smoothly. But when blood vessels become stiff, inflamed, or damaged due to poor diet, stress, smoking, or lack of movement, circulation slows down and your cells begin to receive less of what they need to function optimally. This reduction in blood flow can lead to fatigue, slower calorie burning, and increased fat storage because the body shifts into a conservation mode rather than an active metabolic state. Healthy blood vessels produce a molecule called nitric oxide, which helps them relax and widen, improving circulation and allowing nutrients and oxygen to move freely. Certain foods like leafy greens, beets, garlic, berries, and dark chocolate naturally support nitric oxide production and protect the delicate lining of blood vessels known as the endothelium. When this system is functioning well, your muscles, brain, and organs all work more efficiently, and your body becomes better at using stored fat as energy. On the other hand, when blood vessels are damaged, inflammation rises and metabolic signaling becomes impaired, making it harder to regulate weight and energy levels. Over time, poor vascular health doesn't just affect the heart, it impacts every aspect of physical and metabolic performance, influencing how energized, focused, and resilient you feel throughout the day. Ultra-processed foods are engineered in laboratories to maximize taste, convenience, and addiction-like eating behavior, but they do so at a serious cost to your body's natural balance. Unlike whole foods that communicate clear nutritional signals to your cells, ultra-processed foods send distorted messages that confuse your metabolism. They are typically loaded with refined sugars, industrial seed oils, artificial flavorings, and chemical additives that do not exist in nature. When you consume them regularly, your blood sugar spikes rapidly, forcing your pancreas to release large amounts of insulin. Over time, this repeated cycle encourages fat storage, especially around the abdomen, because insulin signals the body to store energy rather than burn it. At the same time, these foods disrupt hunger-regulating hormones, making you feel hungry even when your body has enough energy. This is why processed snacks often lead to overeating without satisfaction. Beyond weight gain, ultra-processed foods also trigger chronic low-grade inflammation throughout the body. This inflammation damages cells, weakens immune function, and contributes to long-term conditions such as type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and fatty liver. Another hidden effect is their impact on the gut microbiome. These foods reduce the diversity of beneficial bacteria in your intestines, weakening digestion and further increasing cravings for unhealthy foods, creating a vicious cycle. Because they are designed to be hyperpalatable, they override natural fullness signals in the brain's reward system, making it easy to eat far more than the body needs. Over time, this constant overload of poor quality signals pushes the body toward metabolic imbalance, fatigue, and increased disease risk, even when calorie intake seems controlled. Fiber plays one of the most powerful yet underestimated roles in fat loss because it directly influences digestion, hormone balance, and metabolic health without requiring extreme dieting or calorie restriction. When you consume fiber-rich foods such as vegetables, legumes, fruits, oats, and seeds, your body does not fully break them down in the small intestine. Instead, fiber moves into the large intestine where it becomes food for beneficial gut bacteria. These bacteria ferment fiber and produce short-chain fatty acids, which have a wide range of health benefits, including reducing inflammation, improving insulin sensitivity, and signaling the body to use stored fat for energy more efficiently. Fiber also slows down the absorption of sugar into the bloodstream, preventing sharp spikes and crashes in blood glucose that often lead to cravings and fat storage. This stable blood sugar environment helps the body maintain steady energy levels throughout the day, reducing the urge to snack on processed foods. Another important effect of fiber is its impact on satiety. High fiber meals take longer to chew and digest, which naturally increases feelings of fullness and helps regulate appetite hormones like leptin and ghrelin. This means you feel satisfied with less food, making it easier to maintain a healthy calorie balance without feeling deprived. Fiber also supports detoxification by binding to waste products and helping eliminate them efficiently from the body, which indirectly supports liver function and metabolic health. Over time, consistent fiber intake helps reshape the gut microbiome, strengthens immunity, improves digestion, and creates a metabolic environment where fat loss becomes more natural, sustainable, and effortless rather than forced or restrictive. Polyphenols are natural plant compounds found in colorful fruits, vegetables, tea, coffee, herbs, and spices, and they play a far more powerful role in health than most people realize. These compounds act as protective molecules for plants, but when consumed by humans, they help defend the body against oxidative stress, inflammation, and cellular damage that contribute to aging and chronic disease. One of the most important effects of polyphenols is their ability to support the gut microbiome by encouraging the growth of beneficial bacteria while suppressing harmful strains. This creates a healthier digestive environment that improves nutrient absorption and metabolic efficiency. When gut bacteria break down polyphenols, they also produce bioactive metabolites that influence fat metabolism, blood sugar regulation, and immune response. This means polyphenols indirectly help the body become more efficient at burning fat and regulating energy balance. They also protect the lining of blood vessels, improving circulation and supporting cardiovascular health, which is closely tied to metabolism and energy levels. Foods rich in polyphenols, such as berries, green tea, dark chocolate, olive oil, grapes, and leafy greens, have been associated with reduced risk of heart disease, diabetes, and certain inflammatory conditions. Another important function is their ability to reduce chronic low-grade inflammation, which is a key driver of weight gain and metabolic dysfunction. When inflammation decreases, insulin sensitivity improves, allowing the body to better regulate blood sugar and store less excess fat. Over time, regular intake of polyphenol-rich foods helps enhance cellular repair mechanisms, slow down biological aging processes, and support a more stable and efficient metabolism, making it easier for the body to maintain healthy weight and long-term vitality naturally. Healthy fats play a crucial role in regulating cravings, stabilizing energy levels, and supporting long-term metabolic balance, even though they were once wrongly blamed for weight gain. In reality, fats are essential nutrients that help build cell membranes, produce hormones, and regulate how your body uses and stores energy. When you consume healthy fats, such as those found in avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon and sardines, your body receives a steady source of fuel that digests slowly and keeps you satisfied for longer periods. This slow digestion helps prevent sudden drops in blood sugar, which are often responsible for intense cravings and impulsive eating. Stable blood sugar means your brain receives consistent energy, reducing the urge to reach for sugary or processed snacks. Healthy fats also influence appetite-regulating hormones, helping to improve communication between the gut and the brain so that hunger and fullness signals become more accurate. Another important effect is their role in reducing inflammation in the body. Omega-3 fatty acids, in particular, help balance inflammatory responses and support brain health, mood stability, and cardiovascular function. When inflammation is lower, insulin sensitivity improves, allowing the body to use energy more efficiently instead of storing excess calories as fat. Healthy fats also support the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, which are essential for immune function and overall health. Over time, including the right fats in your diet helps reduce emotional and physical cravings, supports hormone balance, and creates a more stable metabolic environment where energy feels steady and fat loss becomes more natural and sustainable. Green tea, berries, and cruciferous vegetables may seem simple, but together they form a powerful trio that supports cellular repair, metabolic health, and long-term disease prevention at a deep biological level. Green tea contains bioactive compounds called catechins, especially EGCG, which help enhance fat oxidation and support the body's ability to use stored fat for energy. It also supports liver function, which plays a key role in detoxification and metabolic regulation. Over time, regular consumption of green tea can help improve energy efficiency and reduce oxidative stress at the cellular level. Berries such as blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries are rich in antioxidants and polyphenols that protect cells from damage caused by free radicals. This protection is important because oxidative stress accelerates aging, inflammation, and metabolic dysfunction. Berries also help improve insulin sensitivity, which allows the body to regulate blood sugar more effectively and reduce fat storage signals. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and Brussels sprouts contain sulfur-based compounds such as sulforaphane that activate the body's natural detoxification pathways. These compounds support the liver in removing toxins and also help regulate genes involved in inflammation and cellular repair. Together, these foods influence how cells function, repair themselves, and respond to stress. When consumed consistently, they help reduce chronic inflammation, improve mitochondrial efficiency, and enhance the body's ability to generate energy from food instead of storing it as fat. They also strengthen immune function, support hormonal balance, and protect blood vessels, all of which contribute to a healthier metabolism. Over time, these foods create an internal environment where the body naturally shifts toward repair, balance, and efficient fat utilization. Sleep and food timing are deeply connected to how your body stores fat, regulates hormones, and manages energy throughout the day, even though most people treat them as separate issues. When you eat at irregular times or consume heavy meals late at night, your body's internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm, becomes disrupted. This disruption affects key hormones like insulin, cortisol, ghrelin, and leptin, all of which control hunger, stress response, and fat storage. For example, when insulin levels remain elevated late into the evening due to late eating, your body is more likely to store incoming calories as fat rather than burn them for energy because metabolism naturally slows down during nighttime hours. Poor sleep further intensifies this problem by increasing cortisol, the stress hormone, which can trigger cravings for high sugar and high fat foods the next day. At the same time, lack of sleep reduces leptin, the hormone that signals fullness, and increases ghrelin, the hormone that stimulates hunger, creating a biological push toward overeating. This combination makes weight gain more likely even without increasing calorie intake. On the other hand, maintaining consistent meal times and allowing a longer fasting period overnight gives your body time to reset insulin levels, repair cells, and activate fat-burning processes. Quality sleep also supports growth hormone release, which helps with tissue repair and fat metabolism. When sleep and eating patterns are aligned with your natural biological rhythm, the body becomes more efficient at using energy, regulating appetite, and preventing unnecessary fat storage. Over time, this synchronization improves metabolic health, stabilizes weight, and enhances overall physical and mental performance. Your immune system is not only responsible for fighting infections, it also plays a major role in regulating inflammation, metabolism, and even how your body stores fat. When the immune system is balanced and well-nourished, it efficiently identifies threats, repairs damage, and maintains internal stability. However, when it is constantly activated due to poor diet, stress, lack of sleep, or exposure to processed foods, it enters a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation. This persistent inflammatory state disrupts normal cellular function and is closely linked to weight gain, fatigue, and metabolic disorders. Inflammation sends signals that can interfere with insulin sensitivity, making it harder for the body to regulate blood sugar and increasing the likelihood of fat storage. It also affects the communication between hormones that control appetite and energy use, which can lead to increased cravings and reduced energy levels. On the other hand, nutrient-rich foods such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish provide vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and healthy fats that strengthen immune function and help reduce unnecessary inflammation. These foods support the production of immune cells and enhance their ability to respond appropriately without overreacting. A well-functioning immune system also helps repair damaged tissues more efficiently, including blood vessels and metabolic tissues that are essential for energy production. Over time, reducing chronic inflammation allows the body to restore hormonal balance, improve insulin sensitivity, and enhance metabolic efficiency. This creates a healthier internal environment where fat loss becomes easier, energy levels become more stable, and the risk of chronic disease decreases significantly, leading to improved long-term vitality and resilience. Every major transformation in health does not come from a single dramatic action, but from the accumulation of small, consistent daily choices that gradually reshape the body's biology. Each time you choose a nutrient-dense meal over a processed one, you are influencing how your genes express themselves, how your hormones behave, and how efficiently your metabolism functions. These choices may seem insignificant in the moment, but inside the body, they trigger powerful chain reactions. One healthy meal can reduce inflammation for hours, improve blood sugar stability, and support better energy production at the cellular level. When repeated over days and weeks, these effects begin to compound, leading to noticeable changes in weight, mood, digestion, and overall vitality. On the other hand, repeated exposure to poor quality food choices creates the opposite effect, slowly increasing inflammation, disrupting hormone balance, and weakening metabolic flexibility. The key insight is that the body is always adapting based on patterns, not isolated events. This means long-term health is built through direction, not perfection. Even small improvements like adding more vegetables, drinking more water, reducing sugar intake, or eating at more regular times can shift the body toward a healthier state. Over time, these micro-decisions influence gut health, immune function, fat storage, and energy regulation. The body begins to recognize a consistent pattern of nourishment and responds by becoming more efficient, more balanced, and more resilient. This gradual adaptation is what ultimately leads to sustainable fat loss, disease prevention, and improved well-being without extreme diets or temporary fixes, creating a foundation for lifelong health and stability.